All right, traders, to watch this video for Thursday, February 14th, Valentine's Day. All right, so if you weren't in chat today, a very, very nice day. But the SPY, if you look at it, it's just kind of a narrow range, closed where it opened or about where it opened. It looks like a boring day, right? But we did find some really nice ones in chat. And I know a lot of you were there today, so let's go into what we're watching tomorrow. Now, Solo has made such a crazy move. This one went from $1.60 to 4.43, and after hours is actually trading at 5.30 right now. Slide this over for those that weren't there. Listen, I've started making videos on YouTube, just real short kind of explanation videos, if you will, of why I called what I called and where. So go check out the YouTube channel. If like ever you miss a day in chat and you're wondering why I called something, I'm going to try to have some recaps on there. I used to tweet out, I usually, not used to, as recent as probably yesterday, I like to tweet out pictures with the lines showing where the entry was and why, but today it dawned on me I could just make like a 3-minute video and explain it a lot better and a lot easier. So check out the YouTube channel if you ever want to see recaps of the reasons for the setups. All right, there's a screenshot. For those that weren't there, I called Solo at 3 with a stop at 289, looking for a squeeze over the high of day. And I went into this in the video, but I think this is worth going into real quick right here too. Now, this is what it looked like when I called it. Now, keep in mind, it had gapped up, and the low of the day was $1.60. So calling it over 3 kind of feels like a chase, doesn't it? So I'm going to give you the reason why I did. And again, it's in that video explanation, but just I'm going to give you a short version of this. Whenever a low-priced, low-float stock is running, a lot of people make a killing shorting these, and most of them end up kind of rolling over and giving a nice short on the back end of it, right? And so there's a lot of people that make a living doing that, and I tip my cap to them. That's a great way to make a living. I don't want to deal with borrow fees, and most of them through my broker, I probably can't short anyway, so I'm just long biased, and if I see a long setup, I'll take it. But it's important to know that a lot of people short these, right? So why did I like this over 3? Well, it already made a huge move, right? It had already basically doubled on the day, even more so if you count where it started yesterday or where it closed yesterday. But even after the low of the day, it almost doubled on the day, all right? But look what happens here. So it tops out here, kind of pushes through 3, tops out, does this little flush. Shorts are starting to think, okay, maybe it's done, right? Then it does this little bounce. Wait for it. Does this little bounce here. And to me, this is shorts watching to see if it's going to be another leg, and then they're able to push it back down below these lower lows here, right? I mean, there's the high. Then it put in a low here on this pullback. Then it bounced. So everyone's kind of sitting on pins and needles. Is it going to get back through 3? Is it going to take out the high of day again? And then it does this. So in my opinion, shorts are thinking, okay, we finally have control of this stock. It's going to drop another $1. So here's what happens. Then all of a sudden it comes up and challenges 3. Shorts have to be getting a little bit nervous, then maybe thinking, and I always try to put myself in the mind of, longs and shorts and see who's winning and which side's in trouble at what price, if that makes any sense. So now it's flagging below 3. Shorts are maybe a little bit nervous after this pop up here and hoping it'll roll over. But in my opinion, this gets through 3. We love whole number inflection points. The high of day is 307. Shorts got a little confident right here, in my opinion, right? They got a little bit of confidence here. Then it puts in this lower high, and then it starts to go back down, sucking in more shorts, in my opinion, right? So I'm looking to get long through 3. I said this over the mic. I typed it out in chat, several minutes before it did this. I gave the explanation and everything. So if you weren't there and you're looking at this thinking I lost my mind calling this all the way up here after this kind of a move, that's the reason. And time of day. It's getting late in the day, so shorts are running out of time to cover. And a lot of times you see these when they have this huge candle on the daily and then they close strong. A lot of times you'll see a bigger move or a continuation in after hours. And as I said, it's trading at 529 right now in after hours. So look what happens. I think maybe shorts start to think, all right, we got it, right? And next thing you know, right back up again. And I actually sent my order with a limit of 3. This was the only thing I was watching. If you were in chat and you were interested in this because of my explanation and you went to go take a piss break or you went to go grab a donut, or you decided to check a couple other charts, in my opinion, you're trading wrong. This should have had 100% of your focus if you agreed with my thesis, right? Because I knew if it happened, it was going to, you guys, what's that term I made up? The 1 minute turbo Tokyo candle? This was a prime candidate for that, and then that's exactly what happened. I set my order with a limit of 3, and I actually got it filled at 296 because I saw the volume coming in. And I said, you know what, if this goes, it's going to be fast and furious. I had a great fill there. By the way, so it takes out 3, takes out the high of day, and continues all the way into the close, topping out at whatever it was, 443. That's a huge move. Even though it made this big move today, this was the best trade of the day on it, if you think about it. It's one of the few that never looked back, right? If you look at the early high of day break right here, comes back and retests, probably chases you out. If you take the subsequent high of day break, probably chases you out. Then it rips, comes down, and you get long, maybe Tokyo style here. It chopped around, probably chased you out. If you took the high of day break right there, probably chased you out. This was the only entry that never looked back. So even though you could argue it felt like a chase, it ended up being just a beautiful trade. And long story short, now it's on watch for tomorrow. I'm sorry to go on about that when I already made a video about it earlier, but I know a lot of people won't see that video. All right, QTT, super strong move yesterday, 1175 to 1444. I want to say a quiet inside day on lower volume, but it wasn't lower volume, but it's still an inside day. And you could argue, you don't have to argue, it ran over the previous 3 days from a low of 1083 to over 14. So this is, I don't know, maybe a 50% retracement. I'm not a Fibonacci guy, but I still think this absolutely deserves our attention tomorrow. Love to see a narrow range breakout tomorrow on an intraday basis. BLNK, I'm pretty sure since Solo is an electric car or electric 3, whatever that thing is, I tweeted a picture of it earlier. It's sort of electric car. It's a 3-wheeler. I don't know. I like my 700 horsepower Mustang, but Blink does charging stations for electric cars. So I'm just assuming that this pop here, was kind of a sympathy play to that. But who knows? Sometimes these themes catch on, and it's not a bad looking chart. You had this nice 2-day run back here to almost 3. Then it put in a lower high, and then now it's kind of challenging that lower high. So I do like the chart setup here. PYX, you kind of have a 2-day high very, very close to each other. If you weren't in chat again, called this long over 23. Those of you that know me know why. I also may have made a video about this, so I'll give you a shorter version here. But this nice spike to the whole number 23, sellers came in. If these sellers fail, you've got a whole number break with yesterday's high and the morning high and the day before that's as possible catalysts above. We got a really nice pop. It didn't take out yesterday's high, but it did take out the high of day. A very clean move, a quick buck in that one. And it held up okay. Closed where it opened. Definitely got to keep that one on watch after that breakout yesterday. IPI, nice breakout. It had this tight range, big breakout on big volume. 200 days right there. Again, generally the next day after a big move isn't the day to trade it, but it lands on my watch list nonetheless. AGRX also, you had the gap up, but then the sellers came in here, and then these are daily candles, and then the sellers kind of failing. It topped out at 118 back here. You have a high of 117, so it certainly looks good over that. And then you had this one spike back here to 130. It's made a 2-day run already, which makes me like it a lot less, but it's on my radar, so it goes on a chart. Electronic Arts, EA, another red day, but you know what? It's holding up pretty well. If I can get a narrow range high of day break, preferably in the afternoon, I'm going to take some EA shares for a trade. QTT, wait a minute, I've got that on my list twice, which makes my list a little bit smaller, which is fine. Come on, Mike. RKDA. Let me zoom in a little bit here. Nice volume in this stock. Closing, well off its highs, but we'll see if it gives any kind of red to green or something like that tomorrow. I do like the volume in it today. PTI. Pop here, pulled back, then a bigger pop. Couple days with lower highs. So you got a couple potential catalysts right here. Goes on watch. And then lastly, Haynes HBI had this gap up and pop. And it's kind of flagging below a whole number, which also was an issue. This area was an issue back here. You can kind of picture a big cup and handle. Nice volume on the earnings day. So like this through 19 with a proper intraday setup. And that is enough, man. The teamwork in chat has been fantastic. Let's keep it up. Let's work on keeping the clutter down. And don't forget to do chat room searches. If you see a stock ripping and you think, man, I missed it, do a chat room search for that simple and see if anybody, you can look at the time-stamped results, see if anybody posted it, right? Maybe you didn't notice John G or something posted it before the breakout, right? And when you discover that after doing the chat room search, add John G or whoever it was to your hot script list, so then you can get that audio alert and that separate window of people on your hot list, to really, really refine the chat room and make the chat room extremely usable for you. And I'm done babbling. Have a great night. We'll see everybody tomorrow.